Welcome back. So the first part of our practice is called arriving, and I'm going to explain a little bit about arriving and also invite you to just do that little bit part of the practice with me here now. So when we come to our practice, like when we come to anything, we have to arrive. And this is an opportunity within this practice to bring our mind into the practice. And we do that by bringing it through an intention. So setting an intention for the practice that we're about to engage in. And as I say, this has the ideal of bringing our mind into the practice. Because very often we're going to different places and different contexts and different situations, and our mind can be other places. Our physical body might arrive somewhere, but our mind might be projecting into the future, considering things in the past, and we haven't fully arrived into the present moment where our body is situated. So by saying we're going to set an intention, we invite the mind to come to the present moment. And I would generally offer at least two intentions for you to consider. The first one is to be awake and attentive to our practice and our experience. So you do that by simply bringing those words into mind, into focus, and maybe even asking, what will it really mean to be awake and attentive to our practice and our experience, and just notice how that lands also in your body. So I invite you to do that now. Just bring to mind the sense that you're going to be awake and attentive to your practice and your experience. And as you bring that to mind, eyes open, eyes closed, whatever works for you, see if you can be aware of how that lands in the body. And you might even notice some micro movements of the body kind of adjusting itself as the mind contemplates being awake and attentive to practice and experience. So that's the first intention that I may offer or invite you to consider. And with all trauma-informed or trauma-sensitive practices, it's always a choice, it's always an invitation. The second invitation is about being willing to lean in towards that which might seem a little bit uncomfortable. Emotionally, mentally. I'm not talking physically here. We won't be doing the kind of asanas, postures in our practice that become physically uncomfortable. But on an emotional, mental level, just be prepared to be willing to lean into that which is a little bit uncomfortable. So that's another invitation to consider as an intention to set at the start of practice as part of your arriving. And if you like, I invite you to just maybe try that now. So just bring to mind a sense of what it might be like to be willing to lean in towards thoughts or feelings that are a little bit uncomfortable, naturally around racialized trauma. And again, just noticing how that lands for you in your body. And in this way we're all already being awake and attentive, aren't we? When we notice how things land for us in our body as we use our mind to create the intention. Okay. Maybe just letting that go, little shake, relax the jaw, orientate yourself to your space, just having a little look around, maybe allowing the eyes to settle on one particular image or one particular thing, colour, a texture, a shape, in the form of whatever that might be. And if you are by a window, you might want to take a little look out of the window and noticing your natural environment. And we'll be taking quite a few deep breaths in and out with each other as the sessions progress and as the weeks, months, and hopefully years go by. So that's all about arriving. It's fundamental to every single practice that we do, and we certainly won't skip it. So I hope that's given you some insight into it. It's all about bringing the mind on board into our practice, so that we're not only here physically, but we're also here mentally. Great. So again, see below for the next short video about how we practice Om.